All right, how you doing?
Perfect. I'd like to call a meeting at 6 o'clock on the dot. We need to approve the meeting for next month.
So the next meeting is November 17th. And after speaking with the city clerk, we can either hold them in person, or if it's hard, we can always do a Zoom. So
Do we want to just book? So I know that one of the things we talked about, and I talked to Kim and Ellie about it. Joe, Joe or John, are you okay with moving it up to 6 o'clock?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, rather than, I know that 7 gets, especially as the winter comes on, it's dark at 7, and
No, 6 is good.
so if we wanted to try 6, we can. We'll check in with
The
each
only
other.
thing-
Yep.
The only thing, Wednesdays are really hard for me.
Okay.
I can do Zoom on Wednesdays, but Wednesdays I'm out in my Franklin office right now.
Okay.
We're really shorthanded, and I gotta be out there for Wednesdays.
Okay. So maybe if we were to do, because I actually did this with the Legislative and Ordinance Committee at the last meeting. And I don't know if they allow it for remote participation for actual members, but we were able to, in room 201, dial in people from Zoom. I'll have to check with the clerk on whether or not that works for members or not. It worked for people who were testifying before the committee. But I haven't heard anything on whether that works for members or not.
I can check on that for you, Pete.
Okay, and so we'll right now we'll aim for November 17th at 6 o'clock, and it'll be to be determined whether it's Zoom or in person. But we will we'll keep that date and move it to 6, if that's okay.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. And then can we just go over the minutes from last or the month before?
So the minutes were from July 28th. Do I have them? I actually do not have them in front of me. Have you seen them?
John, have you seen,
I have.
or Joe?
I have. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Can someone make a motion?
Didn't you send them? Oh yeah, I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, John, make a motion to approve the minutes.
Yeah,
From
make a
July
motion to approve
20th?
the minutes. Yes.
All right,
Second.
Joe, can you second?
second.
All right. All right, so off to regular meeting.
Yeah. So you could call all in favor. Or
Oh,
opposed.
all in favor? I'm sorry.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
perfect.
All right. Okay, item number 1 on the regular meeting agenda is update in status on awarded contract for the initial cleanup of the 11 off-street parking lots and flower beds. So that's what I wanted to share some pictures. Let me see if I can find them here. All right, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. Let's see.
No.
Where the heck are they? How do I do that part? All right, I'm getting there. Share screen. Screen share.
There we go.
Yeah, okay, so here's some pictures here. Can you see those? It's
Yep.
a picture of Main Street lot. So I went around today just to take pictures of the off-street lots since the time that Garton and Dave Moretti have completed their go through of of the weeding of the flower beds and cutting back of a lot of the bushes in the parking lots. Kim can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was about $8,000 that we
Yes,
spent.
$8,000.
8,000 that we spent on having them do it. And to be honest with you, it's actually been a really good use of that money. I'm going to flip through a few of the pictures, but this is the Main Street lot. I wish I had the befores. I mean, you guys saw the befores in July when I made that big sheet, but for today's purposes, I'm just doing the as of nows. This is the Main Street lot next door to the tavern. You can see that they've cut down all of the greenery, which is good. So that'll all bloom back in the spring. Those are perennials that are in there, so they'll come back. I believe they're mostly daffodils in there, but that's there. You can see on the curb line there are the leaves are there. We did actually hire them on a separate contract to go through and do leaves for the fall. They're going to go through probably 4 or 5 times rather than go through once at the end. They're going to try to maintain it throughout the season. So you'll see the leaves there now, but probably by the weekend they may be gone again. But you know how that goes in the fall. This is again the Main Street lot. Cut back most of the greenery. I think in the spring we'll talk about doing some mulching or something along those lines to just beautify it a little bit. You'll see that the telephone, the payphone thing is still there. I am going to reach out to Verizon to see if they have the ability to remove that. There's no phone in it. It's just the old stand. So we'll try to get that removed. Again, this is a Main Street lot. This was, I think, still. No, this one's Depot Square. So if you remember, all the greenery was growing over the sides here in this lot. That's been cut back. So that's Depot Square. Again, Depot Square. All of our spaces are back to working like normal. Here's Railroad Ave. This is some larger green space, but it's all again been cut back. Previously, it had been overflowing the edge there, so it looks much better.
He did a lot of the curbing also, the curb cutting, because it was real bad. He did it from the entrance, he said,
Okay.
all the way up.
Yeah. So here's some more Railroad Ave. This is some signage. That's to go to Joe's point a little bit later too. But here's this is the Franklin Street lot. You'll remember this was
So much
definitely
better.
overgrowing. It looks much better than it did. This is where the biggest problem was. So that's all been cut back. It looks much better. Here's Reader 3. Reader 3 was really bad too, and that's been cut back. This is along School Street.
Wow.
They cut back all
Wow.
those things along School Street. So it looks like it looks more like it should at this point. So I'm pleased with how Garton has done with the fall cleanup. But we'll want to. And this is the one I actually took this picture because I wanted people to see the curb line, like Kim had said. None of the litter and papers and dirt and all that stuff. They removed most of those along the curb lines, and that makes it much more attractive for sure. But in the spring, we'll really want to look at mulching or doing something in there to try to limit the growth of the weeds to start. So that's something we'll want to think of over the winter. Where am I here? Is this Central Street? Central Street is just mowed and cleaned up. There's baseball from yesterday. So that's generally those are the pictures that I took in the parking lots today. And we're pleased with it. I mean, Garton did the work in about 3.5 weeks, I'd say. They were attacking them pretty quickly. The Reader 3 is the one that seemed to take the longest for them. I think mostly because it's busy there, and it was just really overgrown. So I'm pleased with how it came out. Any questions or comments from the pictures or thoughts? I'm happy to write down some notes on it.
I can tell you, the commissioners, that there was a big pothole in going into the gravel street lot. And we were going to call Burke Brothers to go in and fix it. And Dave Moretti saw how bad it was, and he just filled it in for us. So these are the little things that he does to no charge to it or anything, just saw how bad it was and just took care of it for us.
That's awesome. I think they look great. I think we definitely need to be proactive on mulching in the spring.
Yeah. So one of the things that we can, we'll talk through in the next month or so is I mean, I'd like to get back to a community-wide mulching morning. I guess usually we do it at the end of April, when the DPW has had a chance to get rid of most of the sand and do some of that kind of thing. But it's been years since we've done it. It's been probably 8 or 10 years now. But get together a group of people from the community to spread mulch, to pick up the leftover litter, you know, the coffee cups or the nip bottles or whatever might be out there, and just get us ready for the spring. I mean, I think it's something that as a community, people really appreciated when we used to do it. And I think it would be something that would gain a lot of goodwill and support. I know that in the past we've reached out to a couple of the local mulch providers, and they've been willing to donate a couple of yards of mulch for us to spread. And we would, and traditionally we've partnered with the DPW to have them have one of their trucks down there, an overtime worker to help us with anything if we needed any heavy equipment to move piles or to get rid of the trash that's down there. So I think that's something that we might want to try to schedule for later in April when the weather starts to turn to spring. And I think it'd just be a fun thing to do.
PJ, did we ever, was that part of the partnering also with the Masons?
Yeah, well, the Masons do Earth Day. So I mean,
That's what
certainly,
it is.
yeah, we can do, in the past, we've done them both together, Earth Day. So it becomes a citywide thing where it's not just parking lots, but certainly I'd like to captain a team with the commission, maybe in the parking lot side of it. But we tend to, the Conservation Commission runs the entirety of the program, and they end up doing litter pickup out on Route 20 or Lloyd's Hill or any of those places that tend to collect a lot of litter over the winter. And we try to do it before the weeds or the flowers start springing, so you can catch most of it before it gets covered up. So I will talk to Meredith about Meredith from the Conservation Commission about what weekend she thinks they were likely to do that, and we'll get the ball rolling with the mulch too, and see what we can put together.
Sounds good.
All right. So that's all I have on the state of the lots. I mean, for the most part, otherwise, I mean, just from an update perspective, the Central Street lot is getting used significantly right now, just so you're aware. The Washington Street, or the Washington House that the Westfield Housing Authority owns, their parking lot for their tenants is being reconstructed right now. And they've been split into two places. They're parking both in the City Hall parking lot, which isn't ours, but they're also using some spaces in the Central Street lot during the construction, and that's expected to be over the first week of November. But if you drive by Central Street and you notice that there's a lot more people in there, that's the reason why the Washington House is getting reconstructed. So I have, and this isn't necessarily for the public because there's not a lot of room over there, but we have suspended ticketing in Central Street for the next 2 weeks, just so we can accommodate those the elderly who live there in their cars. Everything else is running fairly smoothly. the other lots are looking good, and we're hanging in. We still have issues in Franklin Street around the dumpster. I've reached out to the DPW to get rid of the stuff by the dumpster there, and also do a more significant cleanup around the dumpsters in Reader 3 in the back on the School Street side. That's a mess back there. We got a couple mattresses and things like that, so we have some work to do. I may go down there myself with my hedge trimmers and try to cut that back this week, probably on Saturday or something. But I'm going to check in with the DPW about getting rid of the trash that's over there, because that's really the biggest issue that we're facing right now is the dumping. And I'm still waiting for quotes from the IT department on our camera effort. We've asked to do some cameras to try to catch some of the dumping, and we just haven't been able to get a quote on what that'll cost.
Do we have to go through the city to have that done?
Through IT, yeah. So I would have, in order to get my Wi-Fi part done, I would I need to deal with the IT department. These things there'll be Wi-Fi cameras. In order for access to the server, they're gonna scope it out for me and tell me what direction I should be heading in.
How long have we been waiting for a quote? I feel like it's been a year.
It's been since July. So and I'll check in. I can check in with the staff up there again this week. But yeah, we just haven't. I know there's been a lot of turnover up there too on the staff. So I will. We've been using the work order program that they've asked us to use, and I'll check in on that this week.
Sounds good. Do we want to move to number 2? Sign it.
I'm ready.
Discussing the off-street parking signing program for downtown.
Okay, so that's what mine. To start, about 2 weeks ago, I decided to take a walk down the whole length of downtown. Started at Main Street at Rockies, ended up at Franklin, went down Franklin, came back. But I did it as though I was a stranger to the downtown, as someone would be visiting it for shopping or whatever. And I mean, there's many issues, as we all know. But one of the things, if I didn't know that there were parking lots, and especially that there's free parking, you wouldn't know it. You know, we have the signs for the space parking, 1 hour free and all that. So I thought about it, and I really think we need to make a program that'll encompass the signing and some other issues there. We're coming into Christmas season, so I think it's an opportune time to get this going. Did everyone get what I emailed? Did you get an email?
Mm-hmm.
I did, yes.
I did, yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and it is, most towns in our area, including Northampton, don't offer the parking we do, and especially free. And so it's something I think we really need to let the world know about. I divide into a 3-part program: metal signage on the streets itself, telling people that we have free parking 2 to 3 hours, and the signs would list the closest parking lot to wherever that location on the street is. Then using the similar signing so it's good for identification like that. There'd be plastic signing instead of the metal aluminum, and those would be distributed to the downtown businesses. Now, in my walk, and it's not scientific or anything, I counted about 70 storefronts. So it'd be nice to have them all post this plastic sign, preferably in their door or their windows, So when people come in and shop, whether they parked on the street or wherever they did, they'll know, oh, hey, I can come back next time and not have to worry about finding a parking space. I think I mentioned a long time ago, one bad parking experience can kill a customer forever. I had an order for burritos the other day, and I couldn't park on the street. So if I was a stranger, what would I do? If I didn't know about the parking lots. And then the other thing, and this is what Peter came up with, that layout of all the parking lots and downtown parking. He's got the little VW, much easier than you think. That's great. I think maybe that we can make many copies as handouts and distribute that to the businesses downtown. And they could bag stuff, or, depending on what kind of business they are, of course. So really let the world know, let everyone in Westfield know, and everyone coming down, that it's easy parking. It's not as hard as it may appear when you just drive the street. So that's my program. I threw together some numbers, because I think, anytime any group or any member of a group makes a proposal, they got to put the money where their mouth is. It's too many committees I've been on where people just say, we should do this, should do that, and then just, throw it at the next person. So just roughly, the whole thing will cost about $1,100, which I don't think is really a lot, depending on how far we want to go with it. We do have the great signs in front of the parking lots, the blue signs. They're really nice. But I really think we need to tell people, hey, this street here where you're looking for a space, we got free parking, just turn down Arnold or wherever. We'd have to individually decide how many signs per sections on the street and what they're going to tell, where they're going to direct people to go to. And anyway, that's my thing, but I really think we're sitting on something that we could really, really push. When we're cleaning it up, those pictures look great that you showed us, Peter, and let's get ready and let the world know that Westfield's a good place for parking, which is important for shopping, particularly the next couple of months. And this is a chance too we have a lot of new businesses down there. Most of them are retail, the new ones, and of course we've got that great bakery now. And so if we can win over people, maybe it'll even grow more. But that's the story on it. And, I'd like to make a motion to continue looking into this. How's that?
That's good.
Yes. Yeah, I was just going to suggest that, what if we make some kind of a flyer using the maps that we have that we can send digitally with our city logos on it to the different stores that they can use to put on their Facebook pages, Instagram, yada, yada, yada. So that they can publicize good places to park, because I think the process of putting more signs is timely.
John, do you want to second that motion just so we have it on the table? I know
Yeah.
Joe made it, so maybe John wants to second it.
Are we taking out
Yeah,
the
I'll
sign
second that.
and just, I'm lost.
No, yeah, just so, and I don't have a vote, but I'm just to kind of chime in. I think we should keep both of them there as a motion to be voted on, both the signage portion and the flyer portion. If we just approve or make a motion to investigate both of those things, and we can do a report at the November meeting on where we're at. But if John wants to second that, I'll add a little bit more after the motion's on the floor, if you'd like.
Did you hear me?
No.
Am I not good?
We got you now.
All right. So I second that.
All right, all in
Sorry, I'm in a
favor?
building and I have to wear a mask on.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so we'll make a motion to investigate more signage and flyers for the parking lots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to share with you, because I know that Joe would have seen this, but just, I mean, since we're on video, I think it's helpful to share some of this stuff with the public too. Where's my thing again? I'm trying to do another screen share here. So we, just to share, I think it's a great idea from a perspective of publicizing what we have, especially, I mean, we just finished what we're calling the Rapid Recovery Program grant planning process through the state. And can you see that? Is that screen shared or no?
Yep.
Okay. So so we just finished the Rapid Recovery Plan with the state. And one of the things that was pointed out by the businesses is both not just the marketing of our parking, but also looking at our regulations, and we'll want to look at them. But we, like Joe said, we have an abundance of free parking options that a lot of communities probably could be envious of, from the lots behind, and certainly everything having been reconstructed in the fairly recent past, over the past 8 or so years, is helpful to us. And this goes back to where we were at a few years ago, where we received a grant from the state through Representative Vilas and then Senator Humison at the time for wayfinding signage. And the crux of that was we wanted to make sure that that our parking lots were publicized from Elm Street and from Main Street and from Franklin Street. So we put up these signs that you can see here. So this is the corner. Obviously, it's the old Clemenza's at the corner of Thomas and Elm Street. So we got a few of these. That's the Thomas and Elm one. This is one on Arnold Street. So you see the signage, and it gets funny. You can keep going straight to get on Elm Street to find more parking, or you can take a right, or you can take a left. There's just parking everywhere. But the big P is what we tried to focus on when we were doing this wayfinding and putting these things out there. So you can see it here on the corner of Arnold and Elm. Again, this is an old sign that we had in the Franklin Street lot. And then this is the corner of Summer Street and Franklin Street to direct people to the Summer Street lot. So this was thought of as kind of a first phase of a public education process. And I think that these are helpful. And certainly I love the idea of providing some sort of branded signage to each of the businesses that we could create. We could create different templates where they could have a sign that they can put in their window saying 3 hours free municipal parking available off of School Street behind the building, or whatever it is. Just put something together they can put in there. Again, the Two Rivers Burritos window, or the Blue Umbrella Books could put one in their window saying free parking in the Thomas Street lot, and try to direct people to them. But yeah, making people aware of the fact that there is parking behind these buildings, especially for out of towners, is definitely something that we want to look at. We can revamp the maps a little bit just to make them a little bit more modern, a little bit more in line with what our branding is going to look like going forward. But I think putting all those things together, and we've collected a pretty good list digitally of emails that we could share these things with some of the businesses. So we can certainly make this a project, and we can certainly, and I'll use my community development department's Facebook page to try to get the word out on it, and just try to go in a bunch of different directions with sharing the info. But I appreciate Joe doing some legwork on this, on the cost and on some of the ideas. So we can work together, Joe, Kim, and I, or Lisa and I, to put together a plan as to how to roll this out to people, if that's of interest.
Sounds good.
Great.
All right.
All right. Should we
Thank
to
you.
number 3?
Number 3. Discussion on press release to the Westfield News regarding city street snow parking ban. Kim, do you want to talk about that?
Yes, so every year we put out just the snow parking ban for the residents, so they know where they can park, where they can't park. When DPW will call a snow ban, it's not done through any of us, and they put it on the public, the access stations, the city websites. We also listed the telephone numbers of the police department, the mayor's office. We all get notification when the snow ban is on. So I just wanted you guys to see what we've done in the past. This is the same one we've been using since I've started. That way you guys can know what we do. So during a snow ban, our officer is not out there ticketing from 9 to 5 because of the fact that they can't be on the streets. So we allow them to be in the parking lots. So I don't think we need to make a motion. If you guys are okay with what it says, I can just work with Westfield News and they'll start putting this in the paper just to let everyone know what happens when a snow ban is called. And we could also put it on the city website.
Sounds good to me.
It's
We
fine.
also give this out to a lot of the college students because they have a hard time understanding where they can find it. And even some of the elderly people, they don't know that it's on channel 15, that they can listen to, 22, the radio stations. So this is good for us. We give this out a lot to people. So that's it. I'll start working with the newspaper to put this in a couple times before the snow flies.
Perfect. Thank you, Kim. All right, let's move to number 4, discussion on snow emergency plowing plan for 2021-2022.
Okay, so we have we have another program here that was shared with you on this form here, the downtown update for parking lots. It describes what our process will be when it comes during snow emergencies, during snowstorms. And just so you're aware, so we have signed a contract with Mountain View Landscaping again to handle our plowing. We are pleased that they have held their pricing for the 3rd or 4th year in a row, which we were surprised by. We thought that the impact of the increase in gas prices and the likely increase in having to pay employees because it's been so hard to find people to work, we thought that the fees would have gone up, but we're still. They held their fees from last year, and that's great. We've been very pleased with the service we've received from them over the course of the past few years. So with their familiarity with the site will be helpful. So what basically, I'll just give you a quick rundown of what we do. So during the day, during business hours, they'll make general passes through the parking lots just to keep them passable. And just basically it's just the travel lanes that they'll go through. But they typically do most of their heavy removal in the evening hours, because for better or worse, our lots are busier during the day than they are at night. And over the course of the past 3 years, we have not had to close our lots fully to to accommodate for the snow removal. And they're very good about coming back for a couple days over periods of time and clearing out spaces that weren't that were occupied while they were plowing the first time through. So generally we've had a pretty good luck with that. But we do have a procedure if we get big enough storms that the lots need to be closed. We have a snow emergency phone number line. It's 413-642-9411, where we will have a voicemail. It's not manned at night, but we have a voicemail that says what the status of the lots is, whether we're under a snow emergency, whether certain lots need to be closed, or where people should be going. That's the stuff that we put on that snow emergency line. People can certainly leave messages for us if they're having concerns there, but mostly it's just an info line there. So we put it up on our website. We will communicate to the newspaper around it. And when we do close lots, we have 3 lots, I think, and Kim can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we have 3 lots that are designated as snow emergency lots. Those are the restaurant lot. Actually, there's 4 of them. The restaurant lot, the gravel lot, the Railroad Avenue.
Yeah, and the depot lot.
The Depot Square lot. So those 4 are the snow emergency lots that will be open if we were to close the other lots. And then once those lots are clean, we ask people to leave the emergency lots, and those will get plowed out after. But
it is not fun to do this.
It is not.
Path. It's terrible.
We don't enjoy it, and that's probably part of why we haven't done it in 3 years. But because there's certainly been storms, but
yeah,
we've been fortunate the last couple of years, and God knows, let's pray that we have another reasonable year for snow. But we have a tried and true plan that's worked for the most part. Oftentimes there are people who are angry at us, but that's just the nature of the beast, and we do our best to communicate what the expectations and requirements are prior, so that they understand that we're not messing around. So
we also have a robocall. So when people sign up for parking permits, especially the ones who live in the area, they fill out a form and they request that they sign that they want us to let them know if we're closing lots or what's going on with the lots. So Lisa whenever she gets that, we have taken it over, and we're now giving that spreadsheet over to dispatch. Is that where it's going, PJ?
So dispatch, the people who run the dispatch are now the keepers of the emergency management software system. So we provide them with our updates, usually just before the snow. So probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll provide them with all of our needed updates. I know that Lisa had been working on that. And it may have.
Yes, I just sent them. I just sent them a big list of pretty much everybody's up to date as of like last week. So she's gotten all that information.
Perfect.
So we do let all the residents know well in advance and in a timely manner of what we need done. And you still will have people that won't move, that we've had in the past. Cops would have to knock on their doors. But for the most part, it does work smoothly with the robocalls also.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's just pray we don't have to talk about this much.
Do you guys want to move on to the parking lot regulations? I don't know if Ellie's still here.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll leave Kim to talk about this one. I know she put a lot of effort into putting this back together. It's been updated for a couple of new items that I think she'll want us to vote on, including in them. But I'll have her read through it. There's just a lot of things that have come up over the course of the past few years that we thought should be included.
So going over the parking lot regulations, it's the ones that have been voted on for many years. What I did was I just updated all the parking lots to make sure that we had every lot listed on this now, letting them know which lots people can park in, what the price is. And one of the things that is new, when I sent everything over to you guys, I kind of highlighted it in yellow. The first one is passenger vehicles and commercial vehicles with a seating capacity of 9 or more passengers, along with tow trucks, are excluded from purchasing a parking permit and parking in the municipal parking lots. We've had people who want to park their tow trucks there because they can't in where they live in the downtown core. This is just more for passenger vehicles and not commercial vehicles. So I didn't know if you guys were okay with that. We've had a couple people ask if they could park trucks or tow trucks, and we've always said no right now, but I think it might be good that if you don't want that we put it in the rules and regs, along with parking their vehicles for sale. Some residents use the parking lots as, that's where they live downtown, and they cannot display their vehicle for sale in a municipal parking lot. It's an ordinance, I believe it's an ordinance too. So those are two things that I thought should be on there if you guys wanted to vote them on there. The other one is food trucks. We're getting quite a bit of people that want food trucks in the parking lots. So I wasn't sure how you guys wanted to do it. If you wanted to strictly say no, you don't want food trucks in the parking lots, or if you wanted to entertain the idea. Now, you can't, I checked with the law department, off-street does not give the approval for food trucks to be in the parking lots. It's a mayor's decision. You guys give the blessing. So if I came to you and said, I want to park my food truck in the Arnold Street lot every day, Monday through Friday, from 11 to 2, you could look to see what the parking lot situation is there. Is there room? Where are they going to be? And if you find that that lot isn't at full capacity, you could give the blessing that you would like to see this. And then what would happen from there is we would report it to the mayor that the commission is in favor of this, and the mayor is the granting authority. And then there's a full license agreement that they will have to sign with the mayor's office and supply insurance and follow the rules of what can be set out there as far as tables and chairs and signs. If someone came to us and wanted to be in the Thomas Street parking lot, that should red flag all of us because Thomas Street is one of the busiest lots along with Franklin Street. So we could tell somebody, no, you can't be in there. But if they wanted to be in there later on at night, when it does kind of quiet down, you guys could, if you wanted to say, yes, we're okay with that, we give the blessing, and then again, it's the mayor's decision. So I put a couple wording in there, didn't know how to do it, if you guys liked it, what you guys wanted. We don't have to vote on it tonight if you want to research more and put some more ideas into it, but just wanted to update those rules and regs and add some more information. Comments, questions?
I like the
Anybody?
idea of having food trucks. I do, because I think it would bring some diversity and something new downtown. But I also think that it would be a cluster to try to decide who can go where, when.
I mean, you can do it. I mean, I don't think it's anything that we would advertise. We've had a couple people ask. There hasn't been a lot of people. You could, like I said, you could look at it on a case-by-case basis, and at any time you could certainly say no. But I think we need something in the rules to either say no, we do not want it in our lots, or we will entertain on a case-by-case.
So if we were to say that we would entertain a case to case, would we be able to do that via email or would we have to have a meeting?
They would come to the meeting. We would tell them when the next off-street parking commission meeting is.
Yep.
And then we would also ask them to, we would request them to do a business plan to let us know what they're doing, what type of vehicle, what are they selling, where they want to be and what hours they want to be at. So not only would they be getting a license from the health department, you know,
I was just
but
gonna ask
then,
that.
oh yeah, we do that in our department. So they would be licensed through the health department. But again, I mean, you would need to know in advance where they want to be. That way we can even have the enforcement officer within the time that they submit their plan to the time that they come to the meeting, kind of give you an idea of how many people are parking in the whatever parking lot they're looking at.
Mhm.
I usually like to tell people that I need all the information that they want before a meeting 1 week in advance. That way I have time to work on any information that you guys need as a commission, and that we give you that information a couple days along with the packet before the meeting. That way you guys can look it over and see. And it gives our enforcement officer the time to be able to see how many people are in those lots. I don't think we'll have a lot of them. We might have one or two. And I mean, it all depends how the downtown starts vamping up.
I mean, me personally, I think it's a good idea to throw it out there. Well, I mean, to allow it. I don't want to publicize it, but
Yeah, and again, we're just giving the blessing and letting the mayor know that, yes, there's room. And if there's not room in that lot, you know, you can't say that they can be in there because, you know, we have parking permit holders that are in there. We have to make sure we have it, but there's room in that Arnold gravel lot. I mean, don't you think, PJ?
Yeah, and that's I feel like the Arnold, the gravel lot is really the one that probably makes the most sense for a food truck. I mean, things that I've learned, not that I learned a lot about food trucks, but things that I have learned as we've tried to figure out ways to accommodate them is, I mean, they really need to be visible. Like, there's a few things. They really need to be visible, and they really need to be able to count on, you know, 60 or 80 people coming to them over the course of a lunch, like a couple hour lunch or whatever, for like a 12 to 2 or 11:30 to 3 kind of time frame to make it worth their while. And there's a lot of competition for them out there. I mean, the number of food trucks, while there's a bunch of them, they seem to circulate to the same places a lot of times. I mean, the breweries that don't make their own food, those have really been a good thing for them. And certainly the larger commercial districts, you just see a lot of them, whether it's I don't know, I haven't been over, I can't say that it's still that way, but downtown Springfield, when it used to be downtown Springfield, or
There's a lot down there. We have one
Yeah.
person who wanted to come to City Hall, but felt that they didn't want to lose their people in Springfield because they didn't think Westfield would give enough capacity for them to have customers. So I mean, you
Yeah.
might have one person come in and it may not work out, or
right.
it might bring a ton of people downtown.
That's it. It's a balancing act, because it's at the same time, and I know we've talked about this a few times in the past. I mean, we want to make sure that our permanent restaurants, our permanent users are stay healthy, and that we're not hurting their customer base necessarily at the same time. But it's it's in the rising tide lifts all boats theory. The more the merrier. But it's a real balancing act for us to figure that out. But it's the market will determine it. If somebody wants to come to our lot, I think having a mechanism that allows for it, or allows us to consider it, is a good idea. Because if we don't have one, then we really don't have any real say in what's happening.
right, we'd never know.
Yeah.
So if you like what I put down, you could vote to approve the amended regulations, or if you want to look at them a little more, maybe reword what I have down. Certainly up to you. You don't have to approve it tonight if you guys feel you need some more time.
Joe or John, do you need more time?
No, I think it's fine. And the gravel lot, that's the place to be.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it's good.
Okay.
So the only one that, when you vote on it, you've got the passenger vehicles and then the vehicles for sale. And then you just have to either vote to approve entertaining the idea of food trucks on a case-by-case basis, or no, you don't want them. And then that would be the motion. And then that way we could get this up and running right away.
Can I make the motion?
I think one of them. I think one of them has to.
I think one of they have to.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll make a motion.
So the motion is to to approve the amended off-street parking regulations as submitted, with the inclusion of the second paragraph relative to food trucks that allows for us to consider them.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, very good.
Let's see.
And I know
Um,
we're bumping up against it. Pete might need our time back. In a few
This one will be
minutes
quick. So I'm asking for a vote to allow Chairman Meyer, is it Meyer?
Yep.
To approve bills for payment via email if monthly meeting is canceled or canceled for any reason. So what would happen is if we cancel a meeting, we can send the list to all the commissioners so you could see what we're going to be submitting for payment. And Ellie would be able to just email back and state, I'm approving this batch number for payment. And then Peter would be able to sign the bills. That way bills aren't being held up waiting for another meeting and things are starting to get paid on, more quickly.
Fantastic.
So if I could have a motion to allow Ellie to do that, and we will get that slowly going. I have to wait until the next meeting for you to approve it. Then we send it down to auditing and we could start with bills in December if something happens.
I'll make a motion to let Ellie approve the bills,
I second.
sign for them.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
So Lisa has some bills, so she can run down what the bills are. And if anyone wants to, I don't know how we do this to be able to get the bills approved tonight, unless Lisa tells you what it is. If you guys are okay with approving them, then you make the motion and then Ellie could come into the office and sign the bills and the minutes for us to submit. So Lisa, do you want to just do a run through of the bills we have?
I mean, I didn't bring them with me. I can go by my memory.
If not, I can.
Yeah, go ahead, Kim.
Okay. So we have about 4 or 5 weeks of Cinta's bills, which are basically uniforms for our enforcement officer. We have our passport bill, which is for our tickets. I believe it's $106 this month. We also have 2 months of Verizon wireless bills at $25.02 for each month, which is for our meter machine. And we also have 1 month of our Garten removing the trash at $575. So those are our regular bills, nothing out of the ordinary, just the same old bills. So if you guys are in agreement, if we could have a motion to approve those bills, we can, have Ellie come in and sign them. Actually, I think we have to have all commissioners come and sign. Do we, Peter? I'm trying to remember.
No, we have the piece on
Okay,
file.
so
that
Ellie
allows
can
us to
just do
sell,
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So if one of the other commissioners wants to make a motion to approve the regular bills as submitted,
I make the motion to approve the bills as submitted.
Okay, and then the next one, set of bills will be for our revolving account. And that will be for, it's $50 a month for our
Internet?
software.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that's all we have. So if I have a motion to approve the revolving bills as submitted,
Make a motion to approve the revolving bills as submitted.
John, can you second?
I second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Brett?
All right, so that's what we have. So Ellie, if you could come in this week to sign those bills and sign the minutes.
Yep, you got
then
it.
Thank you.
All
That's all I
right.
got.
Very good. 6:56, 4 minutes
All
to
right.
spare, Pete. So we got to make a motion to adjourn.
Yep.
All
Oh,
right.
that's John.
John left.
Okay.
All right.
We'll call the meeting at 6:56.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Aye.
Have a good
Aye.
night.
Record.